Welcome everyone to yet another update day for BDO Console. It's been 2 weeks since Winter Region has released, so I don't expect anything massive in today's update. We did just get the whole new expansion with a whole slew of DR, evasion, HP changes coming in. So today's one is probably going to seem relatively minor and pointless to most people. And in fact, to most of us, it's not going to feel like anything massive has actually been added into the game today. But before we jump into any of this, we have finally received something that many of us have been waiting for. It is the Node War Compensation Pay. For those unaware, NA, EU, Asia had some minor, well, I won't even say minor. For EU, it was quite a big cutout. The other regions, they had one day where they had some Node War interruptions with NA missing, one day of Node War. Asia, half the guilds I would say missed their Node War due to a miscommunication on PA side where they actually stated that Node War would not be happening due to maintenance overlapping into Node War start time, but as it would happen, Node War was actually on and active when the servers opened for Asia. And for EU, we missed 4 out of our 6 Node War days. Being we just weren't able to participate, we weren't able to do Node War, it was broken. So for the guilds that were involved and affected by it, compensation has been rolled out. It seems to have been a blanket compensation for all regions. Every region got 1.8 bill if you were a Node War guild. You got 1.8 bill in gold bars and you got 90 medals of honor. Is it great? Meh. No Node War boxes, which is the main thing that we're all fighting for. We want those Node War boxes. We want our chance of free devos. But you got 1.8 bill and you got 90 medals. Spend them as you please. But that is it. It is in. It's not the greatest, but it's finally here. But let us jump into today's actual update. So, August 22nd update. What is in? Today we have some small class changes, we have some Conquest aka siege changes, and we got some quest and knowledge changes. That is the big ones really. So for classes affected today, we got Sorceress, we have Berserker, Alarm, Guardian, and a Witch and Wizard one, which is extremely minor for the Witch and Wizard, more of a issue that I wasn't even aware was an issue. And let's have a quick overview at Sorceress. So Sorceress's main overview. You got some movement increase, movement speed increase, and some new areas where you can have damage up on your skills. So what's changed? Your movement skills, anything that had movement speed increase, not anything. I don't know your skills. Let's dial back there. Nightcrow has had movement speed increased to 15% for 10 seconds. Ultimate Dark Flame has had the flow technically. You now have to manually press R1 or R2 or RB or right trigger when going into it to get the next skill to proc. In succession, Prime Midnight Stinger no longer receives any effect from consuming shards of darkness to increase the movement, but you have increased movement distance from it. Shards of darkness movement distance, but they increase the base movement distance. And the skill will no longer consume any shards of darkness, so even if you try, it doesn't do anything. And remove pressing right trigger or R2 while dashing to attack. Change the skill to not automatically trigger the attack if there are enemies in front while dashing. So if there's someone in front of you, Midnight Stinger will proc if they are in range of the skill. Prime Rushing Crow has movement speed plus 15% added to it. While consuming shards of darkness, you get increased damage now. And because of the increased movement distance being removed from the shards being consumed, you now have a base movement distance increased. Prime Shadow Eruption. Added increased damage upon consuming shards of darkness. And while performing the skill while having shards of darkness will also apply the prime agent of abyss shard consuming effect. And succession beat kick. Didn't even know that was a skill for you. Added details on effects gained from, so they just added details on what happens when you actually consume stuff. And then shadow leap, change the movement speed increase, again adding 5%. And this is one that meh, I think it's just a meh one. Fix the issue with fragment of darkness were being created even without hitting targets. I'm not overly bothered really, PA, when people get their class things back without hitting targets. Let us enjoy our classes instead of hamstringing us. Berserker, shake it off. So, I know it's not called shake it off, but hey. Shake off. Fix the skills combo into frontal giant leap more smoothly with your Iron Buster. Lan, you've had some changes to your Prime Crescent Charm to make sure that you can close the gap a little bit quicker and so that you can combo quickly, more quickly, in words. So now things will combo properly with Crescent Charm from Fatal Attraction and Primrose Sprint. Stately Dignity, well in Awakening, it now hits the same amount of targets. Guardian, did you feel slow whilst doing your prime skills or your flows? Well, that has been remedied. Slightly adjusted portions of the following skills that would temporarily slow down upon hits. I can see in PvE they probably felt pretty cool when you were first getting the skill, but in PvP you want those skills to arrive as quick as possible. So those gaps have now been sped up slightly so that you should feel that your skills are arriving at an appropriate time to be casting them. Prime Beast Demolisher. Fix the issue with comboing into attack 3 from certain skills would trigger a bonus additional attack 1. Probably something to do with the hit changes because you did all the hits too quickly because they removed them. But it's been fixed now. And a very, very strange issue has been fixed for Witch and Wizard. Whilst using Succession Magic Arrow while mounted, your game would either blue screen, dashboard, aka it would crash. That has now been fixed. It's an issue that I wasn't aware existed, and as far as I was aware, mounted combat was disabled in game, so we shouldn't really have been doing any mounted combat to begin with. Contents changed. So Fuga's book has been updated to no longer have to kill a hungry Hikaru or a hungry Ocean Stalker. It now requires you to be following the Pit of Undying quest line to progress the journey. That's probably just to get people doing the Pit of Undying. And now for items 99.99999% of us will never see, never own. Shining Alchemy Stones have been added to the central market with a base price of 20 billion silver. Very cool. No longer for those that believe they were a myth. They do exist. But like I say, I doubt any of us will ever own, see, or have one of these items. Immortality items have had a item description added to them to basically tell you what it means. So if you have an item that has immortal in it, should you die, the effects persist, hence the immortality part. Some changes to the sailboats and frigates. Basically all that's changed is they have cut the costs once again, some in half, some a little bit more than half, like 60%. Still nice change if you haven't got your Ethereal sailboat or your Ethereal frigate sorted yet. It's time now, go get it. New players and returning players. Small changes, but nice changes. You can now exchange your boss auras that you're getting from your world bosses, your dark rifts, field bosses if anybody actually does those, and change them in for concentrated boss crystals at 180 for every 3. It does not affect your weekly, so you can get your weekly with 155, and you can get your 180 with any bonus latent auras that you have as well. So that speeds up. You're no longer time gated, you're only gated by how many boss auras you actually own. Items added to family inventory. Whale tendon potions, all in there, all grades, can go in your family inventory. And purified water. And now, shockingly, for those that didn't know, water puts out fire. It's now been added to purified water. So, now in your node war and in your siege war, when you see fire, you can be a fireman and put out your own fires. You don't need to wander around and go, why is our base on fire? Put it out yourself. Don't be lazy. Monster damage, monster stuff. What has changed? So, while doing a Mugi, a big yellow pillar will highlight where you need to be during the quest line. Change the Mugi, August. I'm guessing that's the name in different regions, to no longer escape into the waters if they've been struck with one powerful blow during the quest line. Dine, your fall damage while doing triple jump will now apply. Quest and knowledge. Were you missing some titles? Were you missing some knowledge? Well, you no longer need to replay any of your quest lines to try and get them. There is now a nice little part that you can go and do for each and every one of them should you require them. Very cool, because I'm missing some of these myself. I'll probably go and do them because, yeah, titles, equal drop rate, equal XP. Yeah, nice stuff. So, all of these bosses are now available. Go grab them if you need the titles or need the knowledge. Very cool. We're not going to read through all of this. This is just quest changes. They just name stuff, rename stuff. Those of you doing Pit of Undying. It is now very, very simple, very, very easy, and nothing that actually represents what Pit of Undying is. But you can now get the Pit of Undying quest line done and out of the way, and start doing your daily Pit of Undyings. So what's been changed? They've removed all the mechanics from the bosses. They've removed and significantly reduced the HP and the AP of every single one of the bosses that you will fight in the quest line. And in one of the more confusing moves I've seen, they've added green grade equipment to the Pit of Undying's store. They're a very strange one. Why, in my opinion? Because they have been trying to unify and tidy up and clean the game data. So by adding green gear to an area where you'll be going with your boss gear that you get from seasons seems extremely pointless, in my opinion. Yeah, green grade gear really in the game is outdated and defunct and takes up too much of our server data. But that is what it is. Now, Conquest War. The changes that people have been talking about are here. What effect will it have for us on EU or Asia or NA on console? None. None whatsoever. Because our only active siege wars are on Balanos where there is no castle. So, what has actually been added to the game? A pretty little relic that will appear on any of the castles. So Valencia, Calphion, or Medaya when it comes back into rotation. What does this relic do? It will stop the unique effect of a tier 10 Pega. Now for Calphion Castle, normal Pegas were able to jump in. But with the advent of tier 10 Pegasus having the ability to do the skywalk, the sprint, whatever they want to call it, they were able to fly in and attack these castles from completely new sides, which made the defending guilds have to defend more than one entry point. What are the consequences of adding these into console? Definitely, I don't think you will see any of these castles fall over anymore. Because for the most part, for Asia and EU, it is mostly a 1v1 situation, or maybe even if there is 2 or 3 guilds on the field fighting the defender, they don't equal the players that PA are expecting to attack the castle. So personally, I feel like the relic is a tone deaf update for console, but as we know, it is a copy and paste. PA just putting it in because it's part of the game data. So it's there and it exists. We're just gonna have to get around it. Lands, by the way, you can still fly in, do your thing. What are the relics? Where will they spawn? So 5 relics will spawn at the beginning of siege. 2 near the inner gate, 2 near the outer gate, and 1 at the command post. How do you destroy said relics? Well, just destroy a gate, then you can destroy the relics that are tied to said relic. Very simple. If you take the outer gate, you can go and destroy the outer gate relics. Can the defensive guild replace them? No. Once they're destroyed, they're gone. It's that simple. Lands flying in? No, you cannot chop them down before the gate goes down. You can harass people. Do your thing. But until the gate is gone, these will not fall. As you can see here, this is a nice little picture showing you the area of effect of how large that actual aura is. So you won't be flying into this castle at all anymore as a non-alarm. Succession lands, you will still be flying in, doing your exact same bullshittery that you usually do. So enjoy yourselves on our non-existent sieges. But that is what will happen. What has been changed as well? So in your guild menu, you can now see past kills, deaths for any conquest, any node war, anything like that. So as per usual, you know where you go look at how many kills you got. You can now pull up any of the past ones. You can have a look and see how everybody did in the past 30 fights. 30 node wars, including sieges, up to the past 90 days. So for guilds that are node warring every day and doing siege every Saturday, just the past 30 days basically of fights will be recorded, and you can go and have a peek through. What has changed for terrain? So Calpheon Castle has had a little bit of tweaking around the side of the castle. They've tried to change the terrain to stop people climbing up into it without a siege tower, which has been an issue for Calpheon Castle for many years. You've not actually needed a siege tower to infiltrate that castle, with either having a tier 9 Pega, having lands, or just jumping off a rock on the side of the castle. You could infiltrate that castle. The gate wasn't necessarily the only way in. So now, once attacking the castle and Medaya Castle and Valencia Castle, you're going to be relegated to using the front door, the sewers, and certain classes will still be able to abuse terrain. But that is it. That's the changes that have come in for Conquest. Cronstone changes for enhancement. When you click use Cronstone, it will remember that you wanted to use your Cronstones. You will no longer accidentally downgrade, delete, enhance without using your Cronstones, as long as you have clicked use Cronstone. If you close the window and you open it again, use Cronstone will still be ticked. So nice little change there. No more accidental tapping without the Cronstones. Changes and fixes, just tiny things. If you guys want to read through these, you're more than welcome to come through. There is just really small changes in here that no one's really going to notice. Let's jump into our 2000 day events. So, shockingly, we had this. It's been extended by 2 more weeks. So, 500% combat XP and 50% item drop rate. It's cool, nice little hot time. 2000 days event. Then we have some nice little borders and photograph opportunities in the wonderful world of BDO. What is the GM Studio? It's just a photo shoot that you can do with the GMs. This was held 2 years ago, I do believe, and it culminated in a physical book that you could get from the GMs. I've got it somewhere set on the side here. But what do? You can go anywhere around the world and you can take cool little pictures. Velia Coastal Cliff, Grana, Valencia, Nopse County, and the Citron Orchard in Mountain of Eternal Winter. These little borders exist. You can stand inside them, you and your friends, you by yourself, whoever you want to be. Stand there, take 2 pictures if you so wish. Second part of the update of this, there is going to be 5 adventurers from NA, EU and Asia. The GMs will personally come around and photograph you and put you in a digital album on the GM notes. When will this happen? The application period is between now and the 28th of August. Winners will be announced on the 29th of August. And the photo shoot will be on the September 7th or September 8th. Should you want to submit yourself for this, just click submit. Boop, boop, boop. Sign up, fill out the form, and you could see yourself appear in the patch notes. Then we've got 2000 days special login. What is special about it? Well, it's got the usual stuff, but with a nice little bonus of 30 Radiant Shikatu seals. So for those of you that are getting close to your title, here's a nice little 30 top up. Those of you that want to spend it on some extra stuff, go for it. And then we've also got the Shikatu Splendid box. So that's the biggest things coming from this. 120 stack. I wouldn't even rate too high right now on the advent of the last update that just gave us a 100, a 150 and a 200 stack. Into the next update. 2000 days happens on August 24th. So this Saturday coming up. Type happy 2000 days into server chat. What will it get you? It will get you a enhancement help kit too. There. But it enters you in for a chance of winning a $50 Xbox or PlayStation gift card. Don't live in the US? Well, I'm going to just go out on a limb and assume that it'll just be exchanged into your local currency at the exchange rate. So if you live in the EU, you live in Australia, you live in, one of the Saudi states, it's going to be exchanged, I would imagine, that way. Because, for obvious reasons, we can't spend dollars on our platforms. Daily gifts. So, just the usual playtime. These ones are kind of if you are short on loot scrolls, if you are short on combat scrolls, or log in. You get loot scrolls for 30 minutes every single day. So it's not a lot of playtime. Get yourself 2 loot scrolls for playing 30 minutes. Nice and easy. That's it really for the daily gifts. Nothing special in there. And then today's Pearl Shop update. Or this week's Pearl Shop update, shall I say. New outfit, Poetica. Nice pretty outfit. It exists for only female classes with a unique version for Shy as per the usual case. Nice outfit, and there is no preview of the Shy variant, but it does exist. I've been made aware and told. But this is the usual stuff. Poetica, get 3 in a bundle, you save some money, or buy it for 2,200 pearls. It is only a classic outfit. So no weapon skins, no awakening skins, just an outfit. And then we have the usual packs that are in game. Do I advise buying any packs? No, I do not. They exist. If you really want to buy them, go for it. Nothing special in them. And then the things on sale, wagon and horse gear, 15% down. That is it for this week's update though. Nothing major, nothing massive. Just basically some cleaning shop and putting in some Conquest siege changes that don't really benefit or negatively really affect us. They just exist. I'll see you guys about. I hope you're enjoying your time with winter, and if you haven't yet had your flame, good luck on your drop. If you have, I hope your Libresca enhancing went better than mine. We anviled Desperate 3 times in a row before we even had a go, before we even got to duo, shall I say. It was very unlucky, but we got there finally on the 10th tap for duo. I hope you guys had much better luck, and we will see you in 2 weeks' time. Thank you and goodbye.